Hello everybody, good day to you guys. Welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you guys are here. I need you here today. I need some support for sure. I'm having a bad time. This is I think the part 2 video so far on this epic disaster of a repair attempt that I made. I'm sitting in my wife's 2015 Chevrolet Tahoe right now. It's a 5.3 liter, I think it's the L86 engine. It's a Gen 5 small block, 5.53, yeah, two-wheel drive truck. Anyway, it developed a dead hole misfire on cylinder 7 the other day while my wife was gonna go fetch the kids from their summer camp activities. And she called me up and let me know the engine was shaking and the check engine light was flashing, and she's like, hey, what do I do? So I tell her, go ahead and pull over real quick, shut it off, turn it back on, let me know if it goes away. Maybe, who knows, I don't know, let's try something and see what happens. So she starts it back up. It still has the flashing check engine light and it still has the engine shaking, and there's a lack of power. So we keep this little scan tool thing down in the door right here, just in case something happens, she can tell me what happened, right? Because peace of mind is remarkably valuable. And she let me know it had a P0208 DTC. What's that mean? It means that the engine's ECM, the electronic control module, or the PCM, powertrain control module, those two terms are fairly synonymous. 308 indicates that the ECM/PCM has detected a misfire on cylinder number 8. It's pretty straightforward. Now, the next morning, we hopped in the truck and I went to drive it to work. I had actually forgotten about it by the next morning, but I hopped in, fired it up, check engine light starts flashing. My memory instantly came back and I go, okay, that's right, it's got a misfire. Let's go to work and fix this, okay? I mean, I work here, this is what I do for a living, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal, right? Sure. So I pulled it into the shop yesterday, made a video about it. I'll leave a link down in this video's description and into the pinned comment, and at the very end I'll leave a little link up at the top so you can go back and watch the part 1 of this. But made a video about the part 1 and what I thought and what we had diagnosed and what the symptom or the problem was a failed fuel injector under the intake manifold. Not a fun job, but not the end of the world. Until I went to remove the fuel injector rails. And what had happened is one of the injectors was corroded and stuck into the hole into the cylinder head. Now, normally that wouldn't really be a problem. You just break the plastic out and dig the injector out of there and clean up the hole and you'd be okay. But this is a direct injection engine. So the fuel injector passes through the cylinder head casting all the way into the combustion chamber above the piston. That way, when the fuel is sprayed into the engine, the combustion chamber can have the most mixed and most atomized fuel-air mixture possible to get the best combustion possible for the most horsepowers and the most torque and most importantly the most efficiency that we can get out of this small block V8. Well, that fuel injector that runs through the cylinder head casting had corroded in and it would not come out. You just normally just pull them right out of the hole and then they're good. They've got little Teflon seals in there and that's supposed to keep combustion pressures inside. Tolerances are remarkably tight, so there isn't any space really for combustion gases to escape through the cylinder fuel injector holes inside of cylinder heads. Well, that whole area had corroded where the injector goes into the head and it would not pull out. I ultimately ended up breaking it off in the cylinder head. This morning, I tried to sort of start drilling into the broken off tube for the injector, and the stainless steel that injector body is made of is so hard that it's just tearing up my drill bits. I'm not going to be able to drill it from inside of the cab. Let me show you real quick. We're gonna walk back out. Or from, yeah, coming out here. There's our affected cylinder, this one right here, right? It's a little crusty and tore up in there. We can compare it to the other holes. Those are looking fairly clean. See that one, that one. That one's crustomatic nasty. So what we've got going on, and for those of you, I'm sorry to repeat myself, who saw the first video, but here's the fuel injector rail. There's the injector body of the one that broke off. This much of this stainless steel is broken off flush right here in the cylinder head. So I'm going to probably have to remove I'm going to have to remove the cylinder head 100%, just to attempt to get that out. I may actually have to replace this cylinder head if I cannot get that out of the hole, because we can't put a fuel injector in it. This thing is down for the count. 224,000 miles. Lone and I have owned this for about 70 or 80,000 miles, and what started off as just a simple misfire is potentially turning into another engine. Now, I need you guys to help me out with something real quick, because I've got this, I have this logic problem, okay? And my logic problem, I call it while you're in there syndrome, and I suffer very heavily from that, okay? So I'm gonna take you through this little bit of a story, and I'd like you guys to let me know if I'm losing it in my head or if I'm kind of tracking in a good direction here. So this is a 225,000 mile truck. It's got a 70,000 mile old transmission in it. I bought it from a customer because the transmission went out and he didn't want to put a transmission in it, so I paid it off, and I paid the payoff on it, and I bought a transmission, put a transmission in there, and I got a great deal on a nice Tahoe, and my customer got out of an upside down situation, and all was well. It worked out for everybody, okay? And we've been driving around. It's been a fantastic truck, and I like this truck, and it's got a cool Corsa exhaust on it, and I like how it sounds, and I like how it drives, and it's mine, okay? I like it. So I don't want to just throw the thing away. I mean, it's a fantastic vehicle, but it's got a major engine problem that kind of snowballed out of control. So my logic on this is I have to pull the cylinder head off of it in order to attempt the repair on the cylinder head to get that piece of metal out of it. Now, this particular engine is equipped with a system called AFM, that's Active Fuel Management. And what that is when the engine is under like medium to light loads, the PCM has the capability to turn this V8 into a 4-cylinder. It will cancel out cylinders 1, 4, 6, and I think 7. So 2 on one side and 2 on the other side, and effectively turn it into a little V4 engine, okay? And it does that by collapsing the lifters, which are run off of the camshaft, which prevents the valves from opening. And when that event takes place, the ECM denies fuel to the injector, and you just have an inert cylinder for however long the ECM decides we're going to be in 4-cylinder mode. It's a good idea, but it's a very problematic system. I have seen these vehicles show up at the dealership with 300 miles on them that had a failed and collapsed lifter. Brand new cars, 2,000 miles, 50,000 miles, 100,000 miles, 30,000 miles, 367 miles, whatever. This one has made it 224,000 miles, and it has never been serviced. And I know it's never been serviced because the little telltales on that intake manifold let me know no one has ever removed it, or they haven't removed it in years, like hundreds, at least 100,000 miles for sure, because I've owned it for 80, so I know it's never been off of there. So I can assume that the AFM system in this truck is the original. Now, at 250,000 miles, I'm rolling around on a failure-prone valve train system here. I've only been remotely confident in that because I run super premium, high-quality AMSOIL engine oil, and that helps to protect some of these squishy Chinese-made metal components, okay? But it's still a risk, and I don't like it. So my logic, here's my logic where it's starting to come in while I'm in there. If and since I have to take the cylinder head off of it, then I may as well delete the AFM system, which is going to require a replacement of the lifters, which are 224,000 miles old anyway. It's going to require a replacement of the camshaft, timing chain, and of course engine oil and things like that, plus cylinder head gaskets and all that good stuff. So by my way of thinking, I'm going, well, while I'm in there and while the cylinder heads are off and while the cam has got to come out to do the AFM delete, because why not delete it since the heads are off, because that's a lot of work to pull those heads off and not much more just to yank the cam out and slam cam and lifters in it. So while I'm in there, figured I'd do the AFM delete. But while I'm putting a cam in it, I might as well put in a nice lopey, choppy hot cam to go with the really awesome sounding Corsa exhaust that this thing has, okay? Logic train. And that's why I need the logic check from my peer audience here. I need a logic check on my thought process here, because I literally just told a guy 2 videos ago with a car that needed timing chains that it's high mileage, it's got a bunch of stuff wrong with it, and you should definitely get away from this before it eats you alive and nickel and dimes you to death, right? So this one is not in as deteriorated as a condition as the other one. The drivetrain on this one's really solid. I know because I put a new transmission in it once, and I've been keeping up with it a lot. But we're at a point here where I actually might even have to buy a cylinder head. So now I'm like, now I gotta buy a head too. If I can't get that thing out of that hole, or the machine shop can't, I gotta buy a cylinder head, which is almost putting me in engine territory. So I sort of need to look at this like it needs an engine. You know, I should probably pull a Dave's Auto Center and just pull the motor at this point. I got a feeling that my while I'm in there syndrome is gonna lead me to believe that I should probably just repower this thing, which is kind of shooting myself in the foot at this point, because I'm gonna pull this cylinder head off in chassis, and once that's off, that's gonna let me get more information on what I need to do. Basically, I need to determine whether this head is junk or if I can salvage the thing or not. Yeah, just needs some fuel injectors. Sure. There's only 2 bolts on this nadir, but they grip. I'll show you when I get it out of here. Bolt gravity. I meant to do that. I'll put it down on the fender well so it won't get lost for later. So, yeah, I'll show you what the deal is here. Watch this. When you run these bolts through, they thread into the bracket back here. They pass through these little steel collars right there. See that steel collar? Now, normally that steel collar would be pushed out this way to provide some space clearance right here for the lugs on the nadir to fit into the area. So when you tighten that down, it pulls these collars in to cinch down on it and take up all the space. Well, now they're stuck there because of a little bit of corrosion. Hence the pry bar alternator removal technique method over here. So now, wiggle that guy out and set that thing aside for later. As I'm kind of tinkering away with some of these little smaller items in here, I'm reflecting on my bad financial decisions. And as I was doing such things, it kind of caused me to think about making good financial decisions, right? And that segued my brain into the perfect opportunity to give a shout out to the channel's sponsor, Blue Jean Financial, located at bluejeanfinancial.com. Not financials with an S, just one financial, bluejeanfinancial.com. What those folks do is they offer entry-level, low front load cost into the retirement market. You see, the problem when you're trying to build yourself a retirement portfolio is you call up a broker and you say, hey, I want to get into the stock market. And it costs a lot of money. So what Blue Jean Financial has done is they've realized that there is a huge barrier to entry for most people to get into the investment market. So they have tailored their business to allow folks with less than 5 figures, say, to enter the market at your own financial pace without a huge front load cost. So if you or anyone you know is looking to enter the market but you don't have a boatload of money to just risk and toss it out there, give Blue Jean Financial a call, see if they can help you out. And that will complete my internal monologue while we work, as well as my shameless self-promotion. We need the sucker outer machine for that. Now this was a good financial decision because tools are fantastic. Time to suction some coolant. Turn on the suction, lock it in. What I'm gonna do is just crack this hose open and just get in there and get the residuals pulled out. And lower this guy down some, and gravity does its deal. Right. No drippage. I wonder where my mind will wander to next, because the labor guide to put a camshaft in this is 30 hours, 30 hours. The labor guide for both cylinder heads is 26 hours. So I may need to pull a Dave's Auto Center, like I said earlier, and just pull the motor. But I'm gonna waste a day and pull the head off first, because my thought process may require me to replace this engine if I need to replace the cylinder head, because there's no reason to put on one cylinder head, not when you have two. And there's also no reason to put two cylinder heads, a valve train, a camshaft, set of lifters, head gaskets, head studs, and fuel injectors on a bottom end that's 225,000 miles old. I have expensive logic. Cool. It's gonna suction its little heart out. Even though the system's open, we're probably gonna get a lot of recovery out of it, and we're gonna run out of space. All right, coolant's done. Shut this thing off and power down. Don't need you again. So, judging from the look of things right around here, the next step is going to be to start pulling this bracket off right here. Now, that's not as easy as you think, because you got a bolt here, right? One bolt here, but where's the other bolt? Oh, I see. There it is, passing through that ear on the AC compressor, running into the block. So the compressor has to come off before this bracket can come off. So let's run this thing up in the air and get to the compressor bolt. There's two in the front, and I think one on the side and the back that goes into the block. We got to get that side bolt off. I'm gonna have to replace this belt right here. That's a stretch belt and cannot be reused once it's been unstretched. That's very unfortunate, but it is what it is. So I've already gone and set the rack on this. Let us go ahead and engage the channel's green subscribe button. That's to remind you guys to consider subscribing to the channel so you do not miss out on any future content such as this. It's green because you know it's good. That will end my second moment of shameless self-promotion. You guys want another one? Go to my video description, get yourself some AMSOIL. If you sign up to become a preferred customer, it's like a Sam's Club membership or a Costco, you get discount prices on the oil that you have to buy anyway. We're gonna come full circle to that AMSOIL thing when we get this cylinder head off, and you guys see how clean the inside of the 225,000 mile old engine is. I don't know how clean it is, but I bet it's pretty clean. There's gonna be some carbon on the valves because it is a DI engine, but all of the oiling components inside, I think that's gonna be super clean. So when we pull the lifters out, we will know if AMSOIL has some legit use or not. I bought this truck at 140,000, I think, and it immediately got 530 AMSOIL as opposed to the 020 whatever oil that GM wants for it. Yeah, I didn't do 020. And I'll be remarkably curious to see how the internals have improved after the installation of the premium quality engine oil. Okay, so I don't see that bolt. Maybe they passed through the front on this one. I think I might be lucking out. Slightly different design. I see two bolts going through the front. One on the top, one on the bottom. There might be a third one somewhere. But while we're down here, let's go ahead and remove these connectors because that compressor is going to come out. There's my new transmission I told you guys about. What else is going on down here? Anything? Nah, she's super clean. I didn't know this had electric steering. Or I didn't notice, or I didn't care. Okay, moving on. Pluck that little. Come here, become unplucked. It's not plucking. That plucking thing. These are so easy to break. Yeah, there's a dirt dauber nest up there. Oh, there's someone inside. Gross. That's nasty. Get out of here. It's going to be nearly a matter of nanoseconds before I drop something onto this skid panel thing right here, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove this entire panel right now. Enough with the 10, need the 15. And where's the other ones that I'm missing? Oh, more 10s, I see them. Ruh-roh. Yeah. That's tradition. You throw your cover bolts on your cover. If you don't, you're gonna lose them. I'm probably still gonna lose them, but at least I know where I left them. So yeah, front side of the compressor. I'm only seeing 2 fasteners in this thing. There's a stud right there, and then there's that bolt at the top. Okay then. Yeah, I was tight. You know, the last time I did this job on the internet, I got fired halfway through it and never finished the job. That was from my dealership days, long time ago. I was in the middle of working on this exact same situation. I got myself fired for refusing to work on Saturday. Okay, 15. Loose. It's a big one. Now, down below, there are the 13s for the AC compressor. One nut. There we go. And that other one, I don't know if y'all can see from there, but it's right here. Neutral drop. Oh, that's a long one. All right, let's get rid of our $45 belt that we can't replace. There we go. One-time use only. Every time. So I believe that compressor should be loose. And it is not. Something else is hanging on to it. Okay. I figured out what it is. Right back here, there's a little ear. We saw that from the bottom side. Can't see it, there's a cable in the way. There's an ear right there. And that ear is similar to this ear right here for the alternator. Ear right here. So what I've got to do is just kind of walk this compressor out this way towards the passenger side and make it unstuck to the brackets. There she goes. I disconnected the lines when you all weren't looking. So now that it's hinging on that that stud sticking out, we can just kind of inch it forward, I think. There we go. We'll pull this thing up and out through this little hole right here, which is, yeah, it is little. I need a bigger hole. Okay, over here. You stay. So now we can remove this bracket. Right? Yes. There she is. I wonder how many guys broke this off trying to pry this thing away thinking that it only had 2 bolts in it. It's happened, I'm sure. I just broke that nipple off this thermostat housing. This goes to the surge tank. So I was gonna take that off without telling you guys, but I broke that thing too. This truck's just falling apart today. You know, some folks would say that I'm kind of getting a deal here because I can do my own work and I don't have to pay someone else to do it. And yeah, that's kind of true. But the problem is that I'm actually not doing my job now. I'm doing basically a free 99 job, and unfortunately, that is causing me to actually lose income because my efforts are better spent on managing my business and actually doing things that produce revenue, right? So doing this for free is effectively the same as like doing a warranty job where it's all just a total loss. And unfortunately on this one, I gotta pay for the loss. So I'm actually losing money. I'm paying money to lose money, if that makes any sense. Because I gotta pay for all these parts and stuff. But I think if I just maintain the right headspace and justify this to myself the right way, I won't have to feel bad about the situation. Because there's two options or two possible stories in the world: comedies and tragedies. We learned that from Harold Crick. And I prefer to live in a comedy as opposed to a tragedy. You guys remember Harold Crick, right? That's our tensioner. Okay, so I think we need to go ahead and just pull this water pump giant assembly thing off the front of the engine. It's sort of in the way and it's got to go away. So I don't know how many bolts are in here, but they're all 13 millimeters. I think I can get the housing off without pulling off the entire pump assembly, but we'll see. That's two of them. There's a couple more here to the left. All right. Now a little bit of pry bar action. Now it's something still mounting it. There's maybe another bolt. I don't feel one. Oh, there's one. There's one right here. All right. Sneaky little guy. Yeah, there's another one somewhere. Is that it? Yeah, I see it. You guys probably saw that the whole time. I didn't see it. It is raining cats and dogs right now. Finally. Okay. There is another fastener. There it is. I see you. Nice. Failed neutral drop. Now be careful, if you fail, you strip the gears. Oh, of course there's a cable with something attached to it. There. On the ground. Alrighty folks, so I've skipped ahead a couple steps. We pulled the fender liner out and the right front wheel off this thing. Parts are on the ground over there. I've already gone ahead and pulled out the spark plugs. I figured y'all didn't need to see that. We've seen enough spark plug action around here over the years. So now I'm gonna come in and we're gonna pull these exhaust manifold bolts off. I've also gone and removed the ones on the exhaust collectors there. None of that stuff makes for good filming, and I'm trying to usher a 30-hour job into not 30 videos. So I don't care if I break any of these bolts off because I'm not gonna put them back in. These GM head bolts are, I think, undersized for the job in my opinion, and they could probably use a better quality steel because they like to rust and break off, especially in the back where you can't get to them. I routinely like to replace these with either studs or like a stainless bolt. All right, let's try that one on the front. I think my angle of attack was too sharp. It was eating up torquages. Okay. I'll just manually break that one loose. Look at this. I stuck the tool over to get the back bolt out over there, and the head came off immediately. It's been broken the whole time. There was soot holding it on. Yeah, that's that back bolt. So yeah, there's one broken bolt. Let's get this one cracked loose and we can pull this manifold out of here. I got my wobble socket extension on an extension on a ratchet so I can apply some reverse leverage torquages here. Come off, please. Oh, that was tighter than I thought it should have been. Okay, switching out to the gun. Some rapido extraction. There we go. I left that one in so the manifold wouldn't fall, because I'm a forward thinker when I can think. Okay. Back you guys up a little bit out of here. And I actually think it's going to be best to pull this manifold out through the top. Yeah, I believe so. That's going to be the best course of action here. So let's climb on out of here and let this thing down, fetch that manifold, and then we're going to start pulling these valve cover bolts off, get the cover removed. And once that guy is out of the way, we're in business to pull the head bolts off because there's nothing else there. Alrighty, fellers, we're back at the top now. It is time to get rid of this ginormous valve cover assembly right here. There's a lot going on under there, so brace yourselves. We need to run around, get all the perimeter bolts out. I think I can take the covers off with the coils on, so I'm not going to bother touching those at this time, but we'll see. We'll get all these 10s out of here. Come here. Manifold. Get rid of that and get some long tube headers while I'm building a 600 horse Tahoe. Like I said, the bad financial decisions are real. And the while I'm in there syndrome is a real thing. Ask anybody. Any gearhead, they'll tell you the same thing. Yeah, it's an illness to which there is no cure. The only vaccination is a connecting rod to the side of the shin, and even that doesn't stop most of us. Go. Okie dokes. All the bolts are out of the perimeter. The two in the back have been removed. Did it when you guys weren't looking because it's hard. So let's give this thing some love taps and see if I. Yep, got all the bolts. All of them. There's our valve cover. Now here's what I was talking about earlier with that shameless self-promotion with a little bit of AMSOIL product. Let me show you the one. Well, that one's 520, but the 530 is what I've been running inside of this truck the whole time for about 80,000 miles. This is a 224,000 mile engine. And look at that. There's almost zero coking, zero sludge. I say that confidently. This thing is mint clean inside. Clean. And that is the benefit of running a high quality lubricant inside of your engine. You do not want thermal breakdown, and engines are thermal machines. So oil breaks down when hot. Good oil does not do it so much, and that's why this is not a sludged up piece of junk.
Nice and shiny.
Super ultra shiny. I mean, the results speak for themselves, and sure, that's my opinion, but I know what dirty engines look like, and I know what clean engines look like, and this unit is clean. Okay, we need an 8mm real quick for these rocker arm studs. Nope. Gonna have to do this the manual release way first. Clickages. Good rapid unclickages. Listen. Ah, ow, hit my hand. Those two more. Ow. Look, yeah, I hit my hand. I'm bleeding. Plastic. Plastic cuts you more than anything in this business. We got our little roller rocker right here. Runs off of our push rod, like so, which runs off of the camshaft down below. Okay, let's put all these guys in a container, roughly in order. I mean, it's not super critical that these go back in the same spot, but it's nice to put things back where you got them. One more. Push rods I don't care about because I'm gonna get new ones. If I do the cam swap on this, uh-oh. The heck is this doing here? Look at that. That was on number 6 too. How'd I get a gouged up push rod on number 6? Do I have a lifter failing I'm not aware of? 'Cause that's weird. Very weird. All right, impact gun time. It's time to be removing cylinder head bolts. All right, last bolt, I think. Yep. Back here and take it out. Ooh, that's sharp edges in there. Okay. It's loose, very loose. Let's back up some. I'm gonna reach back and pull it out. Almost there. Okay, I don't want to drop it. Oh, there's a ground wire back there. There's always a ground wire. Okay. Nikes, just stay right there. Need a ladder here. My thumb hurts too. It's full of coolant. I got 2 wounds on my thumb, and they're both full of coolant. It's quite painful. Yeah. Part of my armpit. That bolt. Let's put it up here for now. Yeah. Okay. Oh, good thing I put these towels in there so nothing got inside. Yeah. Let's get this gasket out of here. This will cut the daylights out of you if handled improperly, which is what I just did. Yeah. All right, so here's where we're at. 224,000 mile cylinder head, broken off fuel injector, broken bolt in the manifold. That should come out no problem. Let's roll it over here. Hang on. And put a mat down so we don't dump. I don't want any oil dumped all over my stool. Go away, fan. Okay. There she is. That is the injector, or the tip rather. See that ring of carbon around this one? No carbon on that one. That one's carbon. That carbon buildup right there is what did all this. That is the reason we couldn't get that to come out in conjunction with whatever that corrosion was supposed to be. There was no coolant anywhere in here because I'm not seeing like a steam cleaned piston, but I do believe that corrosion was caused by coolant from an O-ring on those little fittings that go to the heater core lines right there. It's these ones. See those little T fittings or whatever? I believe that thing had an intermittent leak for a long time. It was dripping coolant. Coolant was pooling up right here and causing the corrosion. I think that's what happened. So let's put a punch on that and see if we can't knock it out. So I move the head down to the floor because if I try to hammer on that aluminum step ladder thing, it's just gonna bounce around and we won't get any good delivered impacts. So I'm just gonna take this bolt right here that does fit mostly. We're gonna see if we can't get this thing to start moving. It moved. Got a good swallow punch. See if this is gonna tinky tink on through. Bigger hammer. I know you just moved, so are you gonna come out? Yep, it's moving. It is moving. Oh! I hit my hand with a hammer. There it is. There's the tip. Teflon seal and the rest of the injector. I'm done for the day. See you guys later in a video, in a day, into Chevrolet.